Welcome to the weather forecast for the week beginning Wednesday, June 16th, 2021. I'm Chief Meteorologist John Ensworth for Longmont Public Media. Thursday, June 24th. Yep, getting close to the end of June already. We have our first full moon, only full moon for this month, rising at 9 p.m. because the days are so long, and setting at 5:11 in the morning. Looking at drought, it's getting better, but the western slopes still need relief. Look carefully at the boundary of white here. That's drought-free areas and some of this darker coloration. And we move forward and things, get better. The drought retreats to the west just a little bit, but the stuff on the western slopes did not change at all. Looking nationally, the central part of the nation, the Great Plains and southern states are doing wonderful. Northern states, not so much. And the southwest is still really, really dry. Not much change except a little worsening out in the west. Well, if you also noticed with the dry conditions out there, fires are back. You can see some point sources of fire southeastern Arizona, up here in Montana. There's some in the southwestern part of Colorado and in Utah. And with the high parked over the Four Corners area, the general circulation is clockwise around the high with some local little wiggles and variations as the high interacts with the surrounding atmosphere. But it's just circulating it around in a circle. We're going to see that in this animation looking forward a few days. You can see the afternoon, the fires flare up, pump smoke into the high pressure circulation, and it just stays around. So kind of unfortunate, but hopefully some moisture comes in with the La Nina becoming neutral. Maybe we'll get some more monsoon moisture and hopefully not more lightning into the west. And looking at that dryness for the last 7 days, that kind of got cut off a little, but really spotty. We had almost over 2 inches of rain over like Aurora, with one good slow-moving thunderstorm and some heavy rain down here in southeast corner of the state. But really, this is just where a thunderstorm or two popped up over the last 7 days. You can see the moisture flow around, and the moisture is coming back. It's circulating around the high, and it's kind of building up as well. Some of it's coming from the Gulf, some from the Pacific. With the moisture increase, we do see a little chance of storms increasing too, especially with all this heat. We have near record temperatures or breaking record temperatures. So the energy and the moisture is in place for at least a few normal thunderstorms. So for Wednesday, we have thunderstorms possible across most of the state. Nothing severe. There's a marginal risk up here on Wisconsin and surrounding areas. The opposite northwest, southeast corners of the state, thunderstorm free. Going to Thursday, not much change. It's still this belt here on this side of the high with the moisture that happens to be available. Looking at the progression of expected severe weather, we do not expect any severe weather. Maybe Saturday we'll see something coming in. It's really hard to say, but that would be one of our better chances. But going to the first week of June, second week of June, you can see that little nose of higher probable incidents of severe weather nosing our way, and not much change in the third week of June. It's still expanding a little further up the Great Plains towards the Dakotas and Montana, but right around northern Colorado, it doesn't change much in these 2 weeks in the middle of June. So the big story is that high. There it is, sitting almost squarely on Four Corners. We have on Thursday noon the ridge extending out and a little bit of passing trough up here nipping away at its northern side, but it is definitely sitting in place and the heat continues. Records are, for the most part, just in the upper 90s this week, and we are expecting extreme upper 90s, if not low 100s, for these Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday time frame. There is change coming, though. And we'll see this in the animation. I just want to show you a highlight day for Monday noon. The ridge retreats down over Yuma, with the high pressure center, and then the ridge up the west coast. There's a trough cutting in on the western side, and a big digging trough giving us northwest flow aloft. That will definitely bring in cooler air as the high moves away and the height of the 500 millibar level lowers. But northwest flow can also bring in little impulses, little ripples in the flow that interact with any moisture that's around and kick off some neat thunderstorms. So hopefully we get more of that activity. Couldn't get the meteogram again. Weather 5280 is having problems with its modeling page. I sent them a little support note on that. So we'll take a look at plugging this one. WeatherUnderground.com came out of Michigan initially. And yes, there is a link between this name and less desirable use of the name. Both are Michigan. But anyways, they have a similar graphic here. We go from a high of 83 to 86 and a low of 53 to 55. This is one of my favorite sites to go to, so it's a nice chance to plug it. Look at the highs hovering through Thursday in the upper 90s, and then as the northwest flow kicks in, on Monday, we're all the way down to the 70s. Now, yeah, right after that, we're back to the 90s, but that's a pretty notable cool down. Saturday or Sunday being a better thunderstorm day, kind of switching back and forth. And we'll keep an eye on that. You can see there is a chance of thunderstorms on Saturday evening, just better Sunday. So let's go take a look at the evolution of this big high. So as we go through Friday, here's the high. Here comes the trough starting to dig down and push the high off to the side. Here's Sunday into Monday. The high is down over Yuma. Big trough swinging through. Then the ridge pops right back Tuesday into Wednesday, but it's diminished. It's got a trough just to the west, trough on the eastern side, that trough kind of lingering around, cutting off out there by next Friday, and the highs to our south now, but it's still trying to keep us warm. So looking at those temperatures, keep an eye on this cold front coming in for the beginning of the week, above normal temperatures in the reds and purples. These little vanishing blue blobs or thunderstorms cooling the air. There's another batch cooling the air underneath them, and then here comes the cold front from Monday, pushing down into Texas and across the plains and off to cool off the eastern half of the nation. As the heat kind of returns, there's thunderstorms again, and then going into Thursday, thunderstorms, a little blob of cool air with thunderstorms, and another little cool front hinted at in the models. So what we need is moisture for all this, and this is precipitatable moisture, so it's still pretty ample going into the weekend. So there's our Saturday moisture, chance of thunderstorms. Sunday even better, really moist all around. And then the cold front pushes down and brings dry air with it. You can see the leading edge of that cold front very clearly with the dry air. We have dry air around here middle of the week, and then dry air continues to push in while a ribbon of moisture returns by the end of the week, probably with that next cold front. So here's our summer precipitation by 6-hour blocks map, and here comes a little tropical system in towards Louisiana. There's a batch of thunderstorms for Saturday night. Here comes a little ripple down the flow with cold front. Monday's rain, and then the cold front sweeps off and we are left high and dry for a few days, and then later in the week a little bit of something starts to come back, but it's just not great. Yep, there it is. So it's the end of the week, so we'll hope for some rain. The GFS going to a different source because, again, Weather 5280 is having some technical problems. The darker greens here put you in the 1/3 inch to 1/2 inch area. The blue colorations are 1/2 inch to 1 inch roughly. The pinks are more like 2 inches, but just in a lucky thunderstorm or two out there. And when you add on the next 5 days, you saw there's a batch of rain or thunderstorms traveling on the northwest flow down across the plains, but nothing really changes around the front range. Not much happens on the western slopes. So we can keep hoping. So I'm calling for 100 on Wednesday, 98 on Thursday. We do have that smoke around that can shave off a degree or two. And Friday, Saturday, Sunday, return of moisture and the beginning of the influence of the northwest flow as the high retreats. So the atmosphere isn't going to be sinking so strongly underneath the high, and we get a chance of thunderstorms. Then we're dry after the front passes. So for local weather and updates and local news, check out longmontleader.com. I got my weather column over there. This has been Chief Meteorologist John Ensworth. Keep looking up.